Maybe I'll have to.
Hello, viewers. A very good evening to you all from Singapore. How are you all doing today? To a beautiful Sunday. This is your friendly host, Seema Seal. Welcome to my chat show, Smile with Seema. They are the ones who love themselves. They are the ones who love their families more than themselves. They are the ones who are confident. They are the ones who support their loved ones. And they are the ones who build our communities silently and are very inspiring to others. Yes, my dear viewers, you got it very, very right. I'm talking about the women. Today, I'm very delighted and honored to invite two great personalities from the maritime industry. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce India's first lady marine engineer, Miss Shanali Banerjee. She completed her marine college training in 1999 and she sailed on oil tankers and bulk carriers until she cleared her chief engineer's exam. She quit sailing thereafter to start her family. She served as a manning superintendent with MSc ship management and served as technical manager to offshore company Samson Maritime and is currently serving as senior surveyor with Indian Register of Shipping. She is very passionate about women in the maritime industry and loves to encourage them. That's so wonderful. That's, I'm so glad to invite our second guest for the evening, Mr. Kaushik Seal. He's India's first gas marine engineer. It gives me again an immense pleasure to introduce Mr. Kaushik, who's currently the Market Development Manager for Southeast Asia and Pacific, looking after the sales and commercial business of the Fleet Performance Management unit at Stormgeo. Previously, he has worked in organizations like DNB, GL, Anglo-Eastern, ABS, ARI, and Lloyd's Register. He was a sailing chief engineer with Great Eastern Shipping Company and was India's first gas marine engineer. With over 36 years of industry experience, his daily dose of fresh ideas stems from the philosophy that enjoy what you do and do what you enjoy. Oh my God, you people are such great achievers and such great personalities. So, welcome to my chat show, Ms. Shonali Banerjee and Mr. Kaushik Seal. Smile with Seema. A very good evening to both of you. How are you both doing today?
We are doing great. Thank you, Seema, for the warm welcome and the lovely introduction you gave. And it's absolutely my pleasure and honor to be here on both of you.
My honor as well. And
Thank you,
how do
Seema.
you, my pleasure, and how do you feel to be a part of my chat show? Both of you.
Now it gives
It's
us,
actually great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Please
thank you so
continue,
much.
Kaushik.
Yeah.
yeah, it gives us great. It's a great privilege and a great honor to be part of this show, and through this medium, if we are able to encourage and empower people to follow suit based on our experiences, it would be a fabulous idea. And we know that your show is being sort of seen by many people. So we just hope that we can take it to the next level. Thank you very much for
Yeah,
having us.
yeah, that's really so impressive, and I'm myself so honored to have both of you. I mean, it's going to be a great show today. I know that very well. So let's start with you, Shonali. How tough is it for a lady to work in the merchant navy?
Okay, Seema, as you had mentioned in your introduction that I was the first one in India to join. So, of course, it goes without saying that it was not explored earlier because there were issues, there were challenges, there were multiple challenges associated with that, and more than the physical challenges associated, I think there was also uh, a huge acceptability issue,
Hmm.
because the merchant navy, as the name suggests, it's very different from a typical social setup where
Yeah.
out at land, wherein you can reach out to people, wherein you can reach out for help whenever there is a problem, and you are operating within a particular social network and a social system. And
Right.
once you talk about merchant navy, it's like for 7, 8, 9 months, depending on, like, earlier the contracts were of a much lengthier period as compared to today. People have a relatively shorter contracts, and so that there was a huge taboo associated with that, that how,
Mm-hmm.
how can somebody allow their daughter or their sisters to go out at
Out at
sea,
sea. Right.
be
Right.
amongst men, all male setup, and the mind being very creative, it is capable
Doing
of
yeah, very
yeah, I mean,
challenging job. Right. Yeah.
no, no, not just that, it is
Yeah.
capable of generating a lot of hypothetical situations,
Hmm.
so which kind of multiplies the challenges associated.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
you have to deal with all that, and
Hmm.
I think it was very challenging. And during the
Hmm.
course of our show, and as you asked me, I will be able to
Hmm.
talk about it
Share.
at more depth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so wonderful. And Kaushik, what do you have to say to this? Since you're also from the same industry.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, during my junior engineer days, I mean, I joined the C in 1985, and that's a few years like before Sonali joined. And it was even sort of, from a social perspective, it was more difficult to even uh, encourage or talk to ladies coming out to sea, right? Although, I mean, I was on my first ship for 21 months on a trot, and which was not easy at all. However, I mean, I always felt that if it's part of the society, whatever we are doing there,
Hmm.
and I did not personally feel that it was like something which was physically that demanding that a lady would not be able to do. In fact, I don't think so. There's anything on this earth which we feel that it's easy. It's more difficult or easier for anyone. It's just in the
Wow.
mind, and it's how society accepts it. So that's my view. Really,
Hmm.
I really felt that we should have an inclusive sort of community out at sea.
Very
Absolutely, very
respectful
well
thought.
stated.
Very
Yeah.
respectful thought. Must say that. Yep. So, Shanali, what are the various opportunities for ladies in the merchant navy?
So once you have done a training program pertaining particularly to the merchant navy field, like a navigating officer or an engineer, or say
Hmm.
even the ratings course, you start climbing up the ladder as you complete your sea time and you do your licenses. So that is
Hmm.
how you keep climbing up the ladder. However,
Hmm.
at some point, a lot of us feel that we need to move ashore due to various reasons. Like
Hmm.
we've had enough of sea career and we need to explore the other side of shipping. So and there are a lot of opportunities. You can be in a technical, you can be in crewing. Like I
Hmm.
am in the with an RO, that is a recognized organization to the Government of India, Indian Register of Shipping. You can be a surveyor with them, and there are various activities. You need not always be an inspector. You can be in the
Hmm.
research wing, you can be in the
Hmm.
marketing and business development,
Hmm.
and there are many more aspects associated to shipping.
Aspects.
So people can get in touch if they are at
Right.
all interested, and then they want to
Right.
explore what is there beyond a sea-going career.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fantastic. So, Kaushik, can you share your experience being India's first gas marine engineer?
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. So, sure. This was quite a few number of years ago, Seema. And this was in the year 1989. And I was sailing as a second engineer with Great Eastern Shipping.
Hmm.
And they decided to go in for a gas carrier, which is,
Hmm.
LPG, this cooking gas, propane, butane, and all that, and ammonia. So they wanted to buy one. So we took one on charter from Maersk. Those
Hmm.
days, Maersk gas carriers were quite in demand.
Right.
So I got an opportunity to go and sail on them.
Hmm.
So we have this position on these gas ships, which is called a gas engineer, who is basically a marine engineer, but you have to be qualified for handling gas as cargo, right? So you need like knowledge on the cargo side. So India did not at that point have any system of endorsing gas
Right.
engineers. So I
Right.
had to get trained in the UK. And then when I came back, interestingly,
Okay.
when I went
Yes.
to MMD and DG Shipping, they did not even have an endorsement or a rubber stamp to do all
Oh,
that.
yeah,
So
right.
so they in fact told me, can you please like come back the next week, because we have to build these rubber stamps to
Okay.
give you an endorsement.
Right, right, right.
So all that was done. And yeah, so it was a great experience. Then I
Yeah,
went back
I'm
on
sure.
these like vessels, and it was a very
I'm
nice
sure.
experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very, very nice. Wonderful. Yeah, so Shanal, coming back to you, how is a
Yes.
woman's life on a boat ship?
Okay, so if we have to talk about women being on board the ship,
Hmm.
so I think for long women have been sailing as spouses with their husband. It was already there for a long time,
I
but
was one of them.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But only challenge comes, when you are
Yes,
an engineer or a navigating officer. There
exactly.
is that you are on your own. You have your respective duties to perform, and
Right.
you don't have somebody who's going to be your custodian, kind of thing.
Correct.
So it's a challenging situation, but I mean, if you compare it with the comfort that a wife may relatively have, it was a little bit more challenging. But then I think all officers have to go through the same grind and toil, and irrespective of the gender, they have to
Right.
perform their duties. And
Absolutely.
yeah, so I mean, the ecosystem at that point of time in maritime was still not developed to the extent that it would address the the various nuances associated with the existence of a woman. There may be
Mm-hmm.
days when a woman may feel little down in a month, but shipping
Hmm.
work systems and the schedules are such that nothing can be put away for another day or another time. We are
Right,
dealing
right,
with some kind of emergency services,
right, right.
so you really have to take care of your health such that when there is an actual emergency, you are never down.
Exactly.
You have to train yourself. You have to have those backup plans in mind, how you are going to deal
Mm-hmm.
with such situations.
Right,
So
right.
apart from that,
Mm.
work wise, I don't think there was
Is any
much of a
different?
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
because what happens that as long as you are capable of developing the competency required to perform a certain job, which the
Hmm.
training institutes do a reasonably good job at. They train you for life at sea. They train you for the competencies that you're going to handle at sea. So
Hmm.
that part is not all that difficult, but yes,
Hmm.
acceptability has been a problem, and I think it still is.
Right. Wow, that's wonderful. I mean, it's absolutely a real challenge. I can absolutely feel it. Now, being an officer and being an officer's wife are both are so different. I can imagine. So, Kaushik, what did you have to say to this? How do you think on those lines that if you during your time when you had joined, if you had any women like at par with you working
Yeah,
as an
yeah,
officer,
that's a very good
like
question.
very.
Seema. I mean, we are of course from Asia, and whenever our ship used to go to Europe, Northern Europe, Germany,
Hmm.
Norway, Finland, Sweden,
Hmm.
and even to the US, when
Right.
USCG used to board our vessels, we used to
Right.
regularly see women sort of part of their workforce.
Hmm.
So we used to really admire them, and I mean,
Hmm.
personally, I used to feel that when would Asia, or
Wow.
particularly India, wake up to all this, and when would
Yes.
this
Yes.
be included in the entire like community?
Hmm.
So yeah,
Hmm.
I feel it's about time. But although
Hmm.
Sonali feels that it's a bit slow, I just hope it's sort of pushed. This agenda is pushed, and over
Hmm.
here in India, I feel, and I'm personally sort of involved in this work as well. We have a lot of inland waterways opportunity in India because we have these cross rivers across India. So there is actually huge opportunity. And there was this project also, Sagarmala, which
Hmm.
is supposed to link all the rivers and make them navigable. I just hope this one sees the light of day, because the amount of employment we can generate, especially for ladies, because then they don't have to go out into the ocean for long periods and yet
Mm-hmm.
contribute significantly to the economy. So I just
Mm-hmm.
hope this blueprint and this plan works for us like someday, and we are able to come back to those glory days when 60% of the professors of Nalanda University were women. From those times now, we
Right.
have you know we have come to this part of the history of society. I think we have
Mm.
to come back to those glory days. So that's my
Right.
viewpoint, and I'm sure we would.
Yeah, I'm sure
And I would just
it's
like to
wonderful.
add on to that, that
Sure.
when I would to say that there were challenging times and acceptability issues there. See, it's not that anything was wrong with the other people on board, the men
Mm.
who that I'm
Mm-hmm.
particularly referring to. It's just that how they have been uh, programmed and groomed over a period of time to believe, this is not ship is not a woman's place to be. The ship is not a woman's workplace. I have seen these men being very respectful towards women who were in established profession where they had a more gender diverse ecosystems, like say
Right.
medicine, like teaching, marketing, or administration. So in these professions the acceptability is much more, but here, like, what happens, for generations you have been made to believe, it was a martial,
Man
it
domain,
was a man's
men's
thing,
domain,
man's domains,
domain.
and
Yeah.
anything concerning with women had nothing to do with the technical and the operational side of the shipping. So it was not that there was anything wrong with this man, but it was just an industry belief that they were made to be brought up with.
Mm-hmm. It's
Otherwise, I
all
see
about the
the
money.
same men, yeah, the same men, they think so progressively about their own daughters, their own
Right.
sisters. They invest in their education such that, they become economically independent.
Mm. Mm.
So it's only a matter of time that
Yes.
the
It's all about, I
narrative
think,
there
yeah. Right.
narrative there changes,
Yes.
because they already
Yes.
have it in them. I mean, in
Right.
India,
Exactly.
has already always been the land of where we worship goddesses, and they have always been the power center. They have been
Mm.
considered the
Mm.
power centers of the universe. So it's just a
Mm.
matter of time that in a particular
Yes.
profession it was not in tandem with
Mm-hmm. Right,
those
right,
people.
right. I mean, it's all about the mindset. Once they come out of that sort of a thinking, I mean, like the acceptance and embracing that
Right,
particular
right,
aspect,
right.
I think things should start looking good, and I just hope it will. Of course, it will. Since you
Yeah,
have
so
already started
if
the.
I may say that, see, it was 99 when I passed out of DMT, October, and in the month of October, I think I joined my first shift. And today, if we talk with the MUI, and they say they
Hmm.
have more than 2,000 women registered as officers with them, so that number speaks volume by itself, I think.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Right.
And Sonali, I wanted to ask you now, how was your parents to your decision of you joining sailing? Like, how was their take to that? I mean, absolutely they were okay, or they also had some kind of issues, or they were okay with it. I mean,
See,
how was that?
I wouldn't have been where I am,
Right.
whatever that is supposed to be. I wouldn't have been here had it
Hmm.
not been for the support of my parents. So that
Hmm.
goes without saying. But
Hmm.
of course, like, my father was not a mariner. In my
Hmm.
immediate family, I did not have
Hmm.
mariners. Like, one of my
Hmm.
brother-in-law, he was a captain in the merchant navy.
Right.
So when I had this option, and I always had a fancy for defense kind of things, and
Hmm. Hmm.
merchant navy
Hmm.
sailing and all that.
Hmm.
But see, as they say, there is difference between knowing something and realizing it. So
Absolutely.
the passing on the experience did not come from within the family. So
Yes. Yes. You
I
have
had
to
to
go through
speak
the
to people.
process like
Yeah,
that.
I
Yes.
had to
Yes.
speak to people who are in the industry, some maybe
Yes.
mm, first, second cousins I spoke to, and
Mm,
I understood that what merchant navy. I am very grateful to him that he encouraged me and he did not
mm,
discourage me at that point of time.
mm.
That, Sonali, what are you going to? But there were
Right.
definitely people, and I would like to put it categorically on records that some people who have discouraged and made some very absolutely frivolous comments to my father when the decision was like, when he
Mm,
decided that, okay, we will
mm-hmm.
go with Sonali joining merchant navy. Things like, you know, are you putting your daughter in waters, in deep
Mm-hmm.
waters, by putting her
Hey,
allowing her to
God.
join sea?
Listen.
And this came from very highly academically acclaimed people.
Mm,
So that
mm,
kind of
yeah.
Yeah, that was a very strange reaction,
Yeah,
and there were many more. But then I think if
I
we
mean,
have to
is
always
enough.
look at the,
I
yeah,
think
it is all
one
behind
statement
me, and we
speaks
have to
for
look at the positive
volumes.
side of life.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes. I know. But
So
that's but anyways, I mean, wonderful. I mean, I'm so glad and so happy to hear we got lovely parents. I mean, it was so nice. I can
absolutely,
imagine.
absolutely,
Very
and
nice. That's absolutely. I always feel parents should be like that. Who should always enjoy what the kid wants to do. Irrespective of what like he or she like profession. They should always encourage. I mean, I have that kind of a belief. And you're saying this, I can tell you, even when it comes to marriage proposals, if you say he's from a merchant navy, even I had come across, but oh, merchant navy, then you'll be in the water. All your life you'll be in the water. I was just relating when you were saying like that. You were joining as a profession, and I was marrying, getting married to a
yeah,
mariner.
yeah. So I will
So
tell you
I'm
his
saying
exact words,
exactly.
and he stated that in
Right.
Bengali. In
Oh
Bengali, he
my God.
stated that "आपने নিজের
জলেই
মেয়েকে
থাকবে
জলে ফেলে জলে
জলেই
ফেলে
থাকবে
দিয়েছেন
হ্যাঁ
জলে ফেলে দিয়েছেন." That was the statement he made, and
my
True,
God,
true.
apparently
Yeah.
a
crazy, really
very
crazy.
This we
highly
can
acclaimed,
relate. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, physics
Yeah.
professor.
We can relate
So
to this even personally on
yeah,
on
yeah,
our front. Some like relatives did like comment like that oh, so then our like daughter is now going to go and out at sea, and then it's just gone. So they were making such comments. So then we had to, of course, like tell them that it's not like that, and then explain everything. Yeah.
and in
When
merchant
I
navy,
could,
particularly if you look at the cruise industry, maybe the issues are not so many because there are enough passengers and there are
hmm,
women on board. So this will not
yes,
be.
yes,
It is
right.
particularly of a concern when it comes to
Right,
cargo
right, right.
ships. Yeah.
Right, absolutely. I mean,
So
and it makes you sound as if it's like some alienated kind of a profession where you'll not get to see the person for decades, It
right,
sounds like
right,
that very
right.
alienated, but again, I guess, I think people will understand. I think, I'm sure very, very
Yeah, I
soon.
mean the narrative is already changing. The dynamics are
Mm-hmm.
changing. We are looking at
Mm-hmm.
the future with the autonomous ships. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we really just have to wait and watch how the
Mm-hmm.
whole situation unwinds.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And it's
Right.
also, if you look at the armed forces and if you
Mm.
look at the offshore industry,
Mm.
everywhere this
Mm.
acceptability and inclusion is happening. So it's not
Mm.
only in
In
the merchant
marine,
navy or the maritime.
merchant
Yeah.
navy, right?
So it's happening everywhere and across many, many nations. So I guess
Yeah,
it's
we
just
have
a matter
respectable
of time.
ladies who have been to space, and Indian women who have been great achievers and everywhere. So
Right.
why not
Mm-hmm.
merchant navy?
I know, I know, I know, I
Just
know.
that it's
Right.
happening a bit late here. That's all I think.
Mm-hmm. But at least the policy, at least it's happening. Let's put it there. Like you started this, now it's happening. Oh,
It
it's
had
late.
to happen. It
Probably,
was
yeah.
destined to happen.
So
It's
yeah,
just a matter
right.
of time that
Time, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Very,
yeah.
very, very true. Very true.
If we
Yeah.
think that anywhere in the world, any corner exists where it will be
Mm.
banned for women, I don't think
Mm.
it's only a matter of time that it will be
Yes,
taken over.
absolutely. Yeah.
It's just a matter of time.
True. Very
Yeah.
true.
Mm. So let me come to the next question. Is as per you, Shonali, I'm sure you have a vast experience sailing. So as per you, how safe it is for ladies from safety aspect? To be a merchant navy, is this really safe for ladies, or is there anything you've heard come across any such experiences,
Okay,
incidents?
so I will tell you that ever since IMO undertook this in 2019, that empowerment of women in the maritime sector, a
Mm.
lot has been spoken, a lot of visibility has been created about women in
Mm.
maritime, and
Mm.
of course, a lot of organizations have also come up that we need to create a sensitive ecosystem for them. It's
Mm.
okay. Like
Mm.
currently, the scenario is that.
Mm.
Uh, the workplace is designed for men to adjust to that everywhere,
Mm.
and it's mostly in most of the industries where there are
Right.
less number of women.
Mm.
Now what they want is that the ecosystem within maritime has to be more sensitive toward the existence of women.
Mm.
True.
That means there should not be any bullying, there should not be any harassment. It could be that they have been an all male setup and they are used to a certain kind of lingo being used on board, or a
Mm.
certain body language,
Mm.
or whatever the behavioral issues could be. But
Mm.
once you have
Mm.
women who are not used to these things, and there was no value addition in behaving or having a certain lingo to it. Somehow it
Right.
doesn't add any value to the industry. It's just
Right.
about people's convenience, how you
Mm.
react. So people have taken this, the IMO and all various organizations, include Vista, to whom I am also an associate member. So they have taken up these causes that sexual harassment at workplace, then bullying, all these things, they are to be taken up very seriously. And if at all
Hmm.
such a case arises, and with
Hmm.
MLC and so many things, ILO rising up to these things, I
Hmm.
think it is not going to be a very far day when we'll find the workplace to be, as safe as sure. The
Hmm.
people I have sailed with in my
Hmm.
sailing career, I have not come across an incident of, say, sexual harassment. But
Right.
then that doesn't mean that it doesn't
That,
exist.
yes,
It does
exactly. I was
exist.
just
I
coming
have
to
come
that
across
end.
people who, who
I'm
have
sure.
come across this. But yes, I have come across bullying, and
Hmm.
at that point of time, it was more important for me that I don't raise or make a big hullabaloo about it, because it was more
Hmm.
important that I complete my contract in
Right.
the right pace, and I rise
Right.
up and rise up the ladder also in a limited way.
Right.
Because again, if
Uh,
if I
yes.
make a lot of noise at that point of time when I was the
Hmm.
first one to join, so the
Hmm.
whole the belief changes that
Right.
women are the troublemakers on board, and that
Hmm.
we better stay away from employing them on board. So you also have to deal with all these things. You have a lot of
Hmm.
responsibilities. How you
Hmm.
behave would kind of pave the way for the generations to come, and
Hmm.
how industry embraces them. So you
Right.
have to behave responsibly, and at the same time you have to be
Hmm.
affirmative in your
Yeah.
approach.
Right.
But having said that, don't you feel if you don't also maybe raise these kind of scenarios, don't you think it becomes more encouraging, and it's like they're getting away with doing
Right,
any
right,
kind
right.
of
So that
things.
is what I
So
said.
you,
It was like I was first one.
hmm,
So they were not used to. Once I have three, four, or more numbers with me,
hmm,
the voice I raise will be
right,
heard, and they will be
right,
reaching the right ears. And
yes,
if it is just
yes,
one of a case who is making noise, so the obvious, I'm telling you what the how the industry responds to that.
hmm, hmm, hmm,
That someone who is a troublemaker, and I have been in Manning. Some people who are a constant troublemakers, or
hmm,
a complaint box kind of thing, who are always having issues with people. Chances are that company may not hire them. It's a sad part, but it's true,
hmm,
and it
hmm,
exists.
hmm,
Nobody
right,
will want to have it in their industries, someone who's a perpetual troublemaker, or who's not
right,
gelling and blending well with the
right,
ecosystem
right.
there.
Okay. I
So
don't know.
I just waited, and
Understand.
today, thankfully, we are in a position where there are more women on board, and the women workforce is quite.
Hmm.
I
Strong
mean,
enough,
it is,
like, and yeah, it's
yeah, it's
huge.
strong enough to reach,
Being
and the
right.
statutory bodies, authorities, they have also waken up and taken note of this.
Wow,
So
it
we can
sounds
see a
And
lot of
absolutely
yeah,
lots
impressive. Yeah.
happening. Yeah.
So, Kaushik, you
I had
wanted to put
a
in some word?
yeah, yeah. I had a perspective to add to this. And when you have women on board, you would also notice that the number of times a conflict, or say the chances of a quarrel or a fight taking place on board, that automatically reduces. I mean, during the last 2 years, because of the pandemic, we have seen so many issues in terms of mental health, the seafarers and people on board entering into, they're on a very short fuse, and they're entering into quarrels with their superiors and juniors, and, the other people on board. So, in my opinion,
Hmm.
this would automatically reduce if you have an inclusive community on board. So, if you have ladies, this is bound. I mean, initially it
Yeah,
can have a
it is
spike,
like
but eventually it will become a nice community where you can stay and share your problems and understand each other's issues.
because that's
Hmm.
how the human community is programmed for, for a natural coexistence, men and women both.
Right.
Right.
So
Right.
if they stay closer to nature, I would say, in terms of existence, so that will bring a lot of peace and the harmony within. The
Correct.
frustration
Hmm.
levels will be not as much as.
Hmm. Yep. But having said that, I feel safety is a problem. The women problem issues everywhere. Be it like sailing also, or offshore, onshore, everywhere. I feel there are so many women keeps having problem. Even
That,
at
that is
home
true.
also,
Crime
it's
against
everywhere.
women, crime
So
against women
it's
is a
a
big challenge.
big,
But
big challenge.
I think that if we have a more balanced socio-economic setup, I would say, economic word I would like to stress upon, because if you are in control of the finances, or if you have, you are in that comfort where you don't have to depend for
And
your sustainability on
exactly,
a male
right.
member,
Mm,
that by itself gives you a lot of confidence, and it
mm,
enhances your self esteem, that
mm,
you are in the relationship for the right reasons and not because you cannot fend for yourself.
mm. Very rightly said.
So gradually, as we see the world changing, and we are embracing a more economically empowered women.
Mm,
Empowerment is one thing, but I personally am a believer that empowerment uh, is incomplete if you don't have economic empowerment. That has been
yeah,
paramount,
exactly.
and that
Exactly. Absolutely.
that is applicable for women of all the strata of the society,
Stratas, absolutely. The
starting from the
financial
absolutely, yeah.
independence, correct. The
Is
financial
I mean,
independence is
we may
absolutely
like to
different.
believe that money is
Right,
not everything in life, but
right.
that's a fancy statement we make to ourselves. You
Mm-hmm.
see, everywhere in the world, wherever there is unemployment issues, the crime rates, the frustrations, all these things come up. So,
Come on.
and it's time, if we are able to contribute to the employment
Mm,
scenario,
mm,
that by itself will empower
mm,
our women folk, and people, the weaker sections, and people
right.
downtrodden.
Very rightly said. Yeah. Kaushik, you want to like you also like to share in
Yeah, I mean,
anything beyond
this is
your
absolutely
opinion?
right. What Sonali has said, and I
Mm,
completely agree. Yeah, I mean, I just had one point to share here, that the word empowerment. I always had trouble understanding the meaning of the full word. I mean, in my opinion, you don't need to empower women in the first place. They are better empowered. If you ask me, they are better empowered to handle crisis. They are better empowered to handle multitasking, and they are able to adjust better emotionally in every situation. So, in my opinion, I mean, it's the men actually who need to be empowered. If you need to really give power, you have to give it to the men to adjust and be equal to the women. So, I mean, that's why God has given childbearing to women. That's the answer, by the way, if you want to know, because I don't think so. Men are capable of handling it. It could be a sexist comment or whatever you say. Being a man, I have the license of saying that, yeah. But I feel that men have to be, empowered more
empowered than
to
women.
be made
Very
equal.
rightly said.
Yeah, that's
Totally
the
agree with
viewpoint
you.
which the world has to see, and the sooner they see it, the better it is, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's excellent. That's well, absolutely excellent. Thank you for the beautiful word, compliment, and the word which you've used.
No, I mean it.
I think
Yeah,
whoever's
yeah,
watching,
I mean it.
absolutely.
every women will go absolutely flattered with these kind
No,
of
no, I
very
mean it,
because
and I live by
very
it.
few, yeah, because very few men can become have the even guts even to talk that much the way you have said to us. Absolutely wonderful.
I
So
say it
Shonali coming,
openly.
yeah, thank you so much for that. So Shonali coming back to you, in your opinion, what are the three challenges for ladies in the merchant navy? I mean, of course there are, but what are the three main challenges if somebody wants to join? So what are the three challenges which she has to focus more there on?
Okay, so I would like to modify this question a little bit to the in the
Okay.
sense
Okay.
that there are no, since the ecosystem is already evolved now much
Right.
as compared to what it was earlier. So there are issues that a seafarer has to deal with.
Hmm.
That is irrespective of the gender, that whether it's a man or a woman
Or
joining merchant navy,
okay.
and so they need to prepare themselves. See, when we see the training institutes, the starting from the selection process to the boys and girls joining sea, a lot of them don't really know what to expect when they join ship. You know,
Hmm.
okay, there is a sir, you are trained for it, you know how to deal with the machineries, you know how to deal with the navigating aspects of it, you know how to deal with certain declared weather conditions, but
Hmm.
how you actually deal with the people on board, how how you absorb yourself in the
Hmm.
onboard life. So that is
Right.
one very big challenge which I think everybody faces initially,
This.
and
Right.
those who are not really resilient,
Hmm.
they sometimes drop out. If you are not
Hmm.
mentally that strong, and you are not tenacious enough,
Hmm.
then
Hmm.
chances are you may not be able to sustain that. But
Sustain.
yeah, because there you don't have the comfort of your family, like in a nine to
Hmm.
five job. you have the comfort of coming back to your family, talking to them about it.
Right.
They are the shipmates, your shipboat shipmates only. They are your immediate family. So it's
Hmm.
very important that you gel with them and you understand
Hmm.
how the you know human management works there.
Hmm.
So if you can do that, then I think your capabilities at shore will be recognized very well on
Hmm.
board. Sorry,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. I understand. So, anything else, Kaushik, from your side
Yeah, I
on
guess
this?
no. This is a key issue, but it's not only for ladies. I guess it's for anyone who
Hmm.
joins the sea, out at sea on a ship, because then you get isolated and you are into your own zone, and your
Hmm.
shipmates are your family, as like Sonali said. So,
Right.
I mean, how to adjust and how
Hmm.
to mold and absorb
Hmm.
into that environment is the key.
Hmm.
So if
Hmm.
you have an issue with that, then because over here ashore you still have the guidance of going out. You can take a walk, you can go for a movie yourself, you can do something. Take a jog
Hmm.
in a stadium and come back. You don't have that luxury on board the vessel. So the way you have to, it's called I call it the writing liver. The writing liver is a naval architecture term which Sonali will relate to. So
Right.
if a ship is being thrown off the center by, say, a wave or something, the ability for the ship to come back to its original place, it's like those hit me dolls.
Hmm.
So that
It's like
that
a clay,
ability,
how to mold,
yeah. So
molding.
that ability to come back to
Hmm.
an upright self, that is an important thing which
You described it
you,
so well. I mean,
you have to
typically
do.
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
shipping terms, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Excellent.
that's
Excellent.
that's that's the way. So you have to internalize this and come up with your own plan, and this is where training, I mean, I would thank my seniors and my juniors from the Marine College, who actually made and molded me so that I can handle this aspect. I mean, of course, the engineering aspect was like something which we had to like learn on board, because the
Hmm.
practical aspect is not really fully taught there in our like college. So we had to like do that on board, which
Hmm.
is okay. That's a skill
Hmm.
set which you learn, but
Hmm.
it's the mental framework which
Hmm.
you like build up, and the man management on board, which is one of the most important things, in my opinion, to handle this kind of
I
thing.
think we were very
Yes.
blessed to have had our training in a marine engineering college, which had such an age-old legacy behind it. There were seniors who could pass on that kind of a lineage and teach us. A lot of
True.
colleges are relatively new, so they may not have that kind of lineage to support them how to deal with it.
Hmm.
True.
Oh, that's
Absolutely right.
that's
Yep.
it's really wonderful. Absolutely. So, Shonali, what message you would like to give to our aspiring youth girls who would like to join this profession? What would-
So I have a very small message for them, for rather any
Yes.
girl, any
Yeah.
corner of the world who wishes to pursue their dream, is that it's very important that you believe in your dreams even when the world doesn't believe in you. It doesn't matter
Wow.
what the world believes in. You have to believe in your dreams. It may take
Hmm.
little longer. It may take sometimes it may get very challenging for you, and you know they may stretch you to elastic limits
Hmm.
and where you may not come back, but always believe in your dreams. And it is very important that you do everything to be able to achieve that dream that is in your
Hmm.
capability.
Hmm.
you know in life, it should not happen that you look back and feel that I could have done this and I did not do. It's important that you try. The fear of failure should not deter you from trying out and believing in your
Hmm.
dreams.
Hmm.
Success
Great.
and failure
Great
are a
thoughts.
very relative words,
Yeah.
but it's very important that you believe in your dreams and you do
Hmm.
that what you believe.
It's absolutely fantastic. It's, I mean, it's so nicely put in.
Any
I can,
profession,
yeah.
any girl, whether you want to take it up professionally,
Hmm.
personally,
Hmm.
socially, it's very important that you believe in the dreams and the vision that
Hmm.
you have.
Very true. Very true. Wow.
And
Wow.
if I
Wow.
may quickly
Fantastic.
add
Yeah. Sure.
that
Sure.
failure is actually a part of success, and this is what we have to tell each and every one, at every stage in our life, we have to tell that we have to remind ourselves that failure is not the opposite. I mean, we always like talk about success and failure.
Yeah, yeah.
It's actually a stepping stone and a
Stone to success. Yeah.
and a part of like success. The moment we see this, and the moment we can percolate this down to even the youngest person in a class, a small child, if we are able to inculcate this, then we should have a society which would be more caring and should be able to see this in a much better light. That's my opinion.
Wow, that's lovely, beautiful words, and so well
That
said.
reminds me of an ad I had seen long time back. I think one of the sports shoe or sports gear ad that
Hmm.
the world only gets to see the goals that you score, and you have to live with the ones you miss.
Right.
So it's very
Right.
important when you look back,
Yeah.
that you should
Yes.
have that clarity. You know, you should feel
True.
that it's okay. Maybe I did not score the goal. It's okay, but it's
But
important that you must try. That
right,
trying is
and
more important.
yes, and of course, even if you have not achieved whatever, at least you have taken some learning, some positivity, some experience. That also helps
Yes,
you.
yes, and it also enriches you
Nothing goes
not just
waste.
as a
Yes,
person, but also
yes.
as a mature professional. As
Hmm.
it adds on to your life.
Yeah, absolutely. Your values, your love, like
Yeah.
your values, your life, your profile, whatever. I mean, what are you looking at? Like?
Yeah.
So, anyways, thank you so much, Ms. Sonali and Mr. Kaushik. It was wonderful holding the hosting session with you people. You have really taught so many things to us, your insights, your achievements, your journeys, and above all, I said great personalities, such nice, humble people to talk to. Wish I would have gone on and on and on, but of course, there's a
Yeah,
limitation of
thank you so
time.
much, Seema. It was
Thank you.
absolutely an honor and my pleasure to be able to connect to both of you on this platform, and
Yes, yes. And it
look
was there for
forward to
quite some
connecting.
time, but
Yeah.
yes, I mean,
Thank you very
thank you so
much
much
for
once
having us.
again, and all the very best to both of you for whatever future projects, endeavors you're planning, you're thinking
Thank you
of
so much. Thank you so
bringing it to the
much.
larger
Thank you.
perspective. We would all love to encourage, especially when it comes to women. We all want
Yes.
to, all women to, come up in life, upgrade themselves and uplift themselves. Like that's all we can do to each other. That's the
I
best
think
we,
women
I mean,
have
way we
already
can.
arrived and reached,
Yes,
and
yes,
we may
yes.
reach a time where we will see that pendulum swinging in the other directions, other
Yeah,
extreme. Well, men will start, talking about
yeah,
men's
Yeah, I
empowerment
better
and
go and
yeah.
get my helmet then.
yeah.
We don't need to
That was
touch.
on a humorous note. Yeah,
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 yeah. So thank you
Right.
once again for
right.
coming and giving your quality time, and thank you once again, and
Thank you so
very
much,
all the
and
very
you look
best.
Our
absolutely
pleasure.
gorgeous.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you
Yeah,
so
yeah.
much,
Thank you.
and
Yeah.
see you very, very soon. So, viewers, we had such a lovely session, and there's so much they've taught us. Their insight, their achievements, their journey. It was so much, and I've learned so much from them. I mean, every bit they could have, they had a story to share with us, and I'm sure you all also would have also picked up some stories and some insight and some experiences. I'm sure you can implement it in your lives as well. So anybody who's interested, please don't think twice. Just get into the profession, and I'm sure you can all do wonders. So do like, share, and comment on my Fashion Nova page. Please do take care of yourselves, your families, your communities, and we can all fight on this whole pandemic. So see you once again with another inspiring guest and another inspiring story very, very soon. So do stay tuned in and get connected very soon. So cheers for now. Take care. Bye Kaushik and bye Shonali.
Bye
All the
bye.
very best once again.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Bye,
Bye.
everybody.